PDP victory. The road now run, the journey rough. We foot strong and our we skin tough. So many that have been thrown at us. Real Spartans never give up. The winds of change blowing your way. Bust off those chains. It's a brand new day. It's not a dream. It is for real. You have to believe. PDP victory. PDP victory. Tobagonians are born fighters. Carry the genes of our ancestors. You change hands so many times, mama. To get your freedom, you have to fight back. I see the many scars upon your back.
I have found that Tobago gets more done when Tobago goes for a Tobago-centric party that does not have a base in Trinidad. Because Tobago has to mind Tobago's business now. We have not mind our business for the last 21 years. We're minding the business now.
You have to believe. PDP victory. PDP victory. Your enemies you shall see no more. Tobagonians will live better off. Better opportunities for the poor. Victimization it will be no more. The winds of change blowing your way. Bust off those chains. It's a brand new day. It's not a dream. It is.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First, let me ask you to accept our apologies for the late start, but this was due to technical difficulties beyond our control. Please stand for the playing of the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and then Pastor Terence Baines will pray for us.
May we pray. Oh God and our Heavenly Father, we thank you for life. We acknowledge you as the supreme God of the universe. You sit high and you look low. You behold the evil and the good. Night after night we come to this place sharing information with the public that is due to go to the polls in a few days. It is our hope that they would make an informed choice. Tonight we commit this meeting into your care. We pray that you will touch each one of us. We pray that that which is done tonight will honor you in the way it should. I ask your blessing upon this people and all those that will view what we shall do tonight. In Jesus' mighty name, everybody say amen.
Thank you, Pastor Baines. Please be seated. Spartans! We are here tonight again. Tonight the focus is on Signal Hill, Patience Hill. And the candidate for the PDP, Mr. Nigel Tate. PDP! But let me first acknowledge all things must be done decently and in order. Good. So let me acknowledge the political leader of the PDP, Comrade Watson Solomon Duke, the deputy political leaders, Brother Fali Chavez Augustine, Dr. Faith B. Israel, and Mrs. Alicia Roberts Patterson. Spartans, brothers and sisters, here physically, in your homes in Tobago, Trinidad, across the oceans, thank you for joining us. It's going to be a good night. This is a platform from which information and good information and knowledge flows. It flows. Because it's more than wanting you to cast a vote come Monday for the PDP. You must be an informed people. You must be informed. You must know where you're at, what you're doing, why you're doing it. So, brothers and sisters, you know, last Sunday we journeyed to the east. And when we got to Speyside, on our way back to Delaford, it was so dark. And I wondered whether we really had leaders in this place. I wonder if the people who hold the reins of governance don't go beyond Bacalet. So I had a feeling. You know, Martin Luther had a dream. I had a feeling. And as we were coming through the dark in Delaford, DJ, I had a feeling, brothers and sisters. Y'all want me feeling to die? Yes, brothers and sisters, I had a feeling. And I had a feeling that come next week, we could look forward to Fali negotiating for street lights in Tobago East. No more darkness, too rugged terrain. I had a feeling when I got to Roxborough that the hospital would be open, that the abattoir will be functioning, that the administrative complex would be fixed. I had a feeling. When I got down to Crown Point, I could see Border Cord, Crown Point, getting more than dashes and commas, but being fixed right. I could see Scarborough being enhanced and a transformation, a city of Scarborough. Brothers and sisters, I had a feeling that Tobago would enjoy its best days after December 6th. Come home, cast your X for the PDP come December 6th, and let us bring this feeling to reality. Thank you, Mr. DJ. Brothers and sisters, it's a good feeling. I had a feeling. I honestly had a feeling. I say I could imagine Chief Secretary Chavez saying my people in the East will no longer have to be afraid to travel in the night, in the dark, in that rugged terrain. I had that feeling. I look forward to the transformation of sky. Oh my God. But the feeling must be transferred into votes. The feeling must become reality, brothers and sisters. It must become reality. We don't want just a feeling. And feeling on one side, reality on the right. What is important is all the X's in between. That is what is important. So you know to move from a feeling to reality. What you got to do, what you're doing with the ex? Brothers and sisters, as I said, tonight is the night for Signal Hill, Patience Hill, and the candidate, Nigel Tate. We're going on the hill. We're going on the hill. We're not afraid of who are saying that they have the residents, the electors of Signal Hill, Patience Hill eating out of their hands. We're not afraid. We have a good man, a man from Yard, one who is competent, one who has proven himself in his community. But brothers and sisters, we ain't ready for him yet. Let me bring to you acts to come to speak to us, the repossessor, Pastor Terence Baines, candidate for Bethel New Grange.
Yo, watch them. Some people dedicated to evil and wickedness. Watch them. Watch this. Watch them. Yo, don't want to do anything, but them not to like you. Evil and wicked is the name of the title. Don't want to do anything, but them not to like you. Evil and wicked is the name of the title. Cause the heart is dead, and them not to do it. And the things so nasty and you. Cause the heart is dead, and them not to do it. I don't wanna be no more.
Alright, Mr. DJ, and Mr. DJ. Good night, Spartans. Good night, PDP family. I'm feeling the feeling, Mike. I'm telling you, we had a little event yesterday in the Bethel area, and we were playing that song non-stop. And somebody sent me a little texting and say, Pastor, you're trying to play smart, but it's long time you want to wave a flag behind a van. I did not respond. But it is a good night to be alive. And of course, all the protocols being observed, and I am just very happy that I am here to endorse my good friend, the one we call Mr. Nigel Tate, boy. PDP! Yeah! And we have said it as per nauseam that the candidates that the PDP present to Tobago are as good as any and better than many. And we know in Patience Hill, I think one of the things that excites me is that we ain't afraid nobody. We ain't afraid nobody. You could bring up prime minister, you could bring up cabinet, you could bring up Nactapole, you could bring what you want to bring, you could use Obi and necromancy. We ain't afraid nobody. We ain't afraid nobody. We have taken and taken and taken and taken and taken, and we have decided that this time we are standing up. We are pushing back against the evil forces that have been holding us down for all these years. We're saying enough is enough. We're not taking that. We're not taking that. We're not taking that. And I want to say and just to remind you that I prayed a prayer here some nights ago. And I want you to understand that I was not just praying a prayer. I told you that we made a petition to God. Because God has manifested himself as a God that is just. He believes in justice. And we have been treated unjustly for years. And in more recent times, in the last 10 months, we have seen a manifestation of injustice like never before. So we call on God and he answers prayer. So now we will focus on our task of winning this election come December 6th. There are some things that are out of our control. We just minding our business. And I want you to know that Mr. Tate is well on the way to winning that electoral district that is called Patience Hill, Signal Hill. And you see, this gentleman is a man from Yard. He's a man from Yard. And his opponent come to Yard. You ever see foul come in Yard and beat the foul from Yard? You ever see that yet? No matter what people do, when you're home, you're supposed to be more bad than everybody else. I never forgot that 3 ladies held me at Montgomery Government School and beat me badly. And I got away from them and I started to run. And while I was running, I heard them laughing and saying, oh, we beat him up. And he will never interfere with us again. But what they didn't know is that I was running home. You see, my house was right next to the road where they had to pass. I'm trying to tell you that when you're in your yard, nobody not supposed to beat you in your yard. And I never forgot that I was a smaller man than I am tonight. And I got some nice missiles and I wait on them patiently. And when they got close enough, I let loose at point blank range. And the battle has ended. And I came out victorious. Why? Because you can't beat me in my yard. And I want to say to the people of Patience Hill and Signal Hill that you must not allow somebody from quite topside to come down and come against a man from Yard. You have to assist the man from Yard to send them back from where they come from. You cannot beat a man from Yard. My brothers and sisters, tonight we are coming down to the final days of this campaign. And we must keep our focus. We must continue to give the kind of information that this platform is noted for. We must not be distracted by the things that are in and around. We have to keep our eyes focused. Focus on the goal. Continue to give Tobago information that is valuable so that they can make an informed choice come Monday. We're not in no kankalang and kankatang. Let them kill themselves on the other side. They deserve each other. Let us focus on winning this election by truth, by information, and with the help of the Almighty God. This is the time for PDP to walk the corridors of power in Tobago. I said this is the time for the PDP to walk the corridors of power in Tobago. And I keep saying it, and at the risk of sounding monotonous, I will say it again. God is going to help us. We have been facing so many different things coming up against us. If it's not 6-6 and the fallout thereof is a prime minister, is a cabinet, and now we see day before yesterday the EBC trying to add something to get us a little bit off. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust none of them. I don't trust none of those institutions that are exposed to PNM infiltration. This is why we have to look to God, because there are things that we have no control over and things that we can't see. I don't trust them with the obia. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. We must keep our eyes on God and win this election. So, my brothers and sisters, it is almost the end of my sermonic speech tonight. Because with truth and in fact, we are in fact wrestling against some spiritual forces. You must understand that the PNM does not want to lose power. There are several implications, negative ones for them when they lose. You remember I told you a few nights ago, when you are slaughtering a cow, you have to watch out for the last kick. You see them things that you see happening now is last kick. When you hear Ansel Dennis, his voice on a truck calling Watson monster and all that is a last kick. Because watch this, all the frontline attackers from the PNM side have cocoa in the rain. All of them have cocoa in the rain. But we must not sink to that low. We must keep focused. We must give Tobago people truth, give them some information, and we must vote vigorously. We must vote dynamically. We must vote with a kind of spirit that Tobago must be free. We shall be free come Monday. Let us go out and vote PDP. So in Patience Hill, Signal Hill, Monday morning, get up early. I said get up early. Brush your teeth, say your prayers. Not necessarily in that order, but whatever you're comfortable with. And get down to your polling station and vote for Nigel Tate. Vote for Nigel Tate. Vote for Nigel Tate. We want to wipe the PNM Scrooge from off the Tobago landscape. We want to wipe away the wickedness. We want to wipe away the maliciousness. We want to wipe away the deceitfulness. We want to wipe away the oppression, the suppression, the depression. We want to wipe away the demonic possession. We're going to wipe them away from this landscape with our vote come Monday. Are you ready, PDP family? Are you ready, Tobago? Let us vote PDP. I am Terrence Baines. Good night.
Watch them. Some people dedicated to evil and wickedness. Watch them. Watch this. Watch them. Don't want to do anything.
When you hear PZ people, come out for the PZ people, step aside. You hear them? PZ. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the electoral district of Signal Hill, Patience Hill. But that district spreads to Union, Spring Garden Trace, Spring Garden, and as Mr. Tate would say, a little piece of Lambo. So we say good night to those outlying areas also. We need you, and we welcome you. Brothers and sisters, we have a little slideshow for you before we share any further information, so take a look. Brothers and sisters, this was a hot topic in the THA election in January of 2021. And it continued and it has reared its head again in this election in December, carded for December 6th. And it has to do with this contentious Zipline. And we are all aware that This started in December of 2014. Now I have in my hand a document belonging to a resident of this island. And there is an act of parliament on our books called the Freedom of Information Act. And this individual sought to get some answers from the Division of Tourism, Culture, and Transportation on this contentious issue. And let me quickly read for you the questions that were asked of the administrator. The following documents were sought. A copy of the confirmed Executive Council minute by which approval was given for the establishment of a canopy tour in the Main Ridge Forest Reserve. A copy of the invitation to bid to facilitate the tendering process for the award of the contract and any associated cost for the establishment of the canopy tour. A copy of the report on the environment impact assessment that was conducted to evaluate the suitability of the chosen site for the construction of the canopy tour facility within the Main Ridge Forest Reserve. A copy of all official documents which show payments to OCT, and that is Original Canopy Tour, the name of the company, OCT Enterprises Limited, for materials and equipment for the canopy tour project. A copy of all official documents which show the following: the entry of the said materials and equipment into the country as paid for by the division, a listing of all the materials and equipment received, and the area where such material and equipment are stored. A copy of all official documents which show the amounts owing or due to the original canopy tour for A, training, B, materials and equipment, C, labor, and travel associated with the canopy tour. A copy of all official documents which show the amounts paid or owing to any company and or individual in Miami or any other jurisdiction for storage fees for materials and equipment associated with the canopy tour. And lastly, a copy of all official documents which show the expected date of arrival into this country and possession of the division of any outstanding materials and equipment associated with the canopy tour. Brothers and sisters, we know a lot has been said about it. Last week, a fun time was had on another platform in another place. But those of you in Tobago West, I am not sure if you are familiar with an area in the east, just at the entry to Goodwood, called the Cross. When you are heading east, just about 2 corners before Big Hole, if you look on the bank, there is a cross painted in white. Now, my mother was from that part of the island, and she said to me, it was said that that marked the midway point of Tobago. And it was also said that was the place where mail was exchanged, received and sent. So the stagecoach or whatever came from the east with the mail, and that from the west came, and they met there, and the mail was exchanged. Well, brothers and sisters, I had a journey to the Cross, and some mail was exchanged at the Cross. Now, in the response to the individual, the administrator of the division said that the Executive Council minute is an exempt document, meaning that it's confidential, they can't tell you everything, so they're going to give you a redacted, meaning that you're not going to get the full thing. But thank God for the Cross. The administrator mentioned that the Executive Council minute was Executive Council minute number 1195 of December 17, 2014. And at the cross, and I'm going to tell you what the Executive Council minute says. Now, when a secretary is wants to get the approval of the Executive Council, the secretary goes with what is called a note for the Executive Council. When it's approved, it becomes a minute. Just as in Parliament, it goes in as a bill. When it's approved and assented to, it becomes an act. Good. So it says that the request, which was on the note, asks for the approval of the establishment of a canopy tower in the Main Ridge Forest Reserve, approval for the Division of Tourism and Transportation to award a contract to the original canopy tower on a sole selective basis, and approval for the administrator of the Division of Tourism and Transportation to sign the contract on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly. The Executive Council approved the establishment of the canopy tower, granted approval for the Division of Tourism and Transportation to engage EID Court to undertake the tendering process for the award of the contract. So they didn't give approval for what was asked, to just say, give it to this company. They said, listen, engage in tendering. Approval was granted for the administrator of the division to sign the contract. And approval was given for the sum of $4 million TT, and the head of expenditure was given, and so on. Thank God for the cross. The administrator wrote to EID Court saying, listen, the Executive Council has given this approval, and EID Court, go ahead and engage in the tendering process. But brothers and sisters, they mustn't do that to us in Tobago. EID Court says to the administrator, EID Court wishes to advise that a sole, and I'm taking these documents as they are because they bear some stamps and so on, which me being in the public service would assume are genuine. It is said EID Court responded to the administrator and wished to advise that a sole tendering process was adopted for the exercise. And they give the same company. What did they waste with time for? What did they waste with time for? You went, you made whatever negotiations, I assume beforehand, you took a note, you say, give it to this company on a sole select. You say, no, let there be a tendering process. And you come back and tell us, we adopted a sole tendering and this company. Brothers and sisters, they must not try to confuse us. We know that a service agreement was entered into. But there are things they must not do to us as Tobagonians. They must not. And this is supposedly the service agreement. It is signed by someone on the behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly and someone from the company. But what disturbs me with this is that it says the contract is valid from the day it was signed. This contract becomes effective on June 12, 2015, or the date of signature of both parties, whichever comes first, and shall continue in force in perpetuity. You know what that means? In Adon. In Adon. There is no end date. You would outlive it, your children would outlive it, your grandpicnic them would outlive it. Perpetuity. The agreement will not terminate with the completion of the tow installation due to an ongoing maintenance fee, which is required to keep the tow in top condition. The maintenance fee will stay as is as long as the canopy tow functions. And brothers and sisters, they said to us that the company is to be paid a fee of $9 for every person who assesses the tow as a paid client. And then it talks about tax-free. I don't know, I could be wrong. I have left the public service a couple of years now, probably things have changed, but this was signed before. I don't know that anybody in the THA had a delegated authority from the Ministry of Finance to offer tax-free concessions. I don't know, probably it was hidden from us. But you see, with all the talking, and we're talking about breach of contract and so on, we looked at the slides, and we heard one person talking about the project was stopped because of reduced budgetary allocation. Then we heard apparently 85% of the material and equipment was supposedly here. That was information given to one individual. Then we heard they were in a warehouse somewhere in Miami, and over about $108,000 US was required for the storage fee. There was no indication how it was going to be paid. And then we heard our Prime Minister saying the reason for the thing is because of a late payment by the THA. So what it really is it because of reduced budgetary allocation? Is it because the company breached the contract? Is it really a late payment on the part of the Tobago House of Assembly? What it is? But we're telling me now about breach of contract. What is it? But I want to ask whether the Division of Tourism was asked by the company to make payments. Now, I don't want anybody to say it's fake email, because email gate belongs to the other side of the pond. It doesn't belong here. But I want to ask the people at tourism whether in November of 2015 and September of 2015, the company wrote asking, make the payments as per the invoices 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that we can get the container on the ship. Thank God for the cross. I want to ask tourism whether $1,035 were paid to a company here in Tobago to transport, the cost of transport from Scarborough Port to Castara for a parcel of rope. $900, VAT $135. And they can't doubt me because it's certified correct by an officer of the division. Brothers and sisters, but hear what it is. Hear the response by the administrator to the individual who asked the questions. Question 3, item 3 was a copy of the report of the environmental impact assessment. And the response was, our due diligent exercise has revealed that the documents requested do not exist at the division. So you want to tell me that they was going to dig up our oldest protected rainforests to put down a zipline without an environmental impact assessment done? Or is it that it was done and somebody forgot to leave a copy at the division? We don't know. The official documents ask to show the entry of the material into this country and into the possession of the division. Doesn't exist. They said a listing of the material was attached in the response to the person. It wasn't there. Probably we'll get it in due course. But brothers and sisters, there is so much to meet the eye. There is so much apparently wrong. There is so much that we are not being told, that is not coming to the surface with this Zipline issue. Probably it would be revealed when the writ is filed in our court. But for now we know, at the cross, we saw what the Executive Council minute says. The division says that a copy of the invitation to bid cannot be found at the division. There is no environmental impact. The official documents of payment and so on, apparently they're lodged at the division, but they were not made available to the individual, at least not yet. But we wait. But brothers and sisters, I am the individual who asks the questions. And me no fool. We will see where this goes. But tonight, that is just added information. But we're zeroing in, and the Zipline is of importance to Signal Hill, Patience Hill. It is of importance to Signal Hill, Patience Hill. It is of importance. And many more are important to Signal Hill, Patience Hill, and all the outline, all folks who vote in that electoral district. But brothers and sisters, when you are voting on Monday, vote for truth, vote for honesty, vote for integrity, vote for confidence, vote for all that you yearned for over the last 21 years and you didn't get. That is the change you are voting for on Monday. That is what you want. You want to bring this island back on even keel. And one of the persons who is going to help us to do that is Brother Wayne Wass Clark, the candidate for Lambo Lowlands. Come, Brother Clark.
Brothers and sisters, Tobago people, Spartan family, we must reclaim our rights. On December 6th, we must go out and fix this. Let's fix this now. We on the ground, we making moves. Helping the people is the way that we choose.
Brothers and sisters, good night. Miss, always a good thing you rescue me. That pace of being stuck off with me, you know, if I could keep that up, you know. Woo. So I want to engage you all tonight in a different way. But first, let me do the usual and recognize our political leader, Brother Watson Solomon Duke, even in his absence. Deputy political leaders, Sister Alicia Roberts Patterson and Sister Faith B. Israel. Deputy political leader and our next chief secretary, let's hear it for Farley Chavez Agustin. Farley, you see how others introduce you nice, you better make me the vice captain when you win here. So, brothers and sisters, despite all the talk and everything about the election and whatnot, you know I always stand here and remind you and ask you to remain focused. Let us stay focused. I just want to engage you a little differently tonight. So I want you to be involved in my discourse tonight. So I'm going to ask the question and you will say if it's true or lie. So my first question is, Brother Farley Chavez Agustin, next Chief Secretary. The PDP Victorious Party.
Would we see the back of the Red Brigade? Boy, your answer hard now, man. Would we see the back of the Red Brigade? And I want to know if each and every one in here will go out to the polls on Monday and do their duty to ensure that that is done. Let me see you raise your hand if you're going out and vote. Good. Baines, you can't do that. You just think fraud, man. You put up one hand. It's only one time you could vote. No, Baines is a nice man. Brothers and sisters, as we get closer, we can't say enough how much you need to be focused. Don't study all the old talk that blowing by. Don't study all the... You know, it's the first time desperation does drive you to funny things. And really, if you understand the meaning of desperate, then you understand why some people are the way they are. You know, like you're there with a woman and this woman decides to leave you, only you and know. And when she started to pack, she bag you begging she that time is the last thing them what she had there. The woman move out all she think already, you know. These people trying all kind of things now. Just imagine somebody on your neck for 21 years and then tell you give them a chance. That person had to think you're stupid. Brothers and sisters, Tobago needs some level, some measure of honesty. Tobago, at least we need to see, you know, we treat it properly, differently than the past 21 years. You can't have somebody at the helm taking charge of things for 21 years. And 3 days, 4 days to go to an election and they're busy paving road, digging drain, doing all, where you was doing all the time. But these things happen when people take you for granted. I was having a conversation with someone from the other side a while now because I have friends in there. And I said, why is it all of us do this stupidness every time election comes? And you know what was his response? If you pave the road too early, people go forget. No, I'm serious. And this is the only time somebody plays you a foolish card is if they think you're foolish. But I have another advice to them, another piece of information. Tobagonians are watching all the paving and turning their face the other side. Tobagonians are watching all the dishonesty and they turn to honesty. Tobagonians have finally made up their mind and decide they're going to follow the PDP this time around. PDP! Tobagonians has decided they're going to put the vehicle of Tobago in the hands of Farley Chavez Augustine. He is a newly licensed driver, and so far he is driving good. Let us all give Farley Chavez Augustine a big hand and tell him the vehicle of Tobago is safely in his hands. Let him drive it. The PDP will bring proper governance to Tobago. The PDP will bring a level of soberness to Tobago. Because what we see passing for governance lately is nothing other than some level of drunkenness. Some kind of intoxication. Because, you know, the desperation is a funny thing. The leader of the other side came to Lambo last week and said how I just give the boys weed. I didn't believe it, so I went and listened to the tape. She said, I just give the children weed. I mean, even one of them fellas who was smoking weed, cussing and say he's lying. But I tell him, I say, you don't need to worry about that. That's the act of desperation. I said, so what you going to do with what she said? He said, well, I didn't go down last time, but I'm going down early this time. Tobagonians have made up their mind, and I'm telling you, there's a strange wind that's blowing, a strange vibe. And you know, I campaigned a lot over the past, and I never had this feeling. Something special is about to happen. Tobagonians, you're going to have something special.
PDP.
I want each and every one of you present here and those who tuning in on the live, be part of history. Be one that you could look back 20 years from now, onwards I should say, and tell your grandchildren, I was part of that turning around process. I voted for the PDP. I helped transform Tobago. So I did my part. Each and every one of you have a chance to go down in history. And I hope that you take that opportunity. Tonight, I stand here to fully endorse Brother Nigel Tate. I just kind of forget sometimes when I come up here to talk by Tate, the night when I talk up by meeting up there. I watch him side. I just watch your kind of eye when you take too long to call his name. You know? But Brother Nigel Tate is a good candidate. Nigel Tate is a hard-working man. Nigel Tate, most of all, is an honest man. You know, one of the amazing things about Nigel Tate is that people say, you know, he was on the other side and whatever they have to say. But you know what I discovered? That Nigel Tate was standing in a place that was getting hot with deceit, with lies, with dishonesty. And he left that place and came over to where he could breathe easy. And we must commend people when they could say, this is wrong and I'm not going to be a part of this anymore. Give Nigel Tate a hand. And if for no other reason, when a man stands up and says that something is wrong, because in this life, people say things are wrong for all different reasons. But when Nigel Tate stand and say, I'm not going to be a part of this no more because this is wrong, then I think each and every one of you should stand without any reservation and go out on Monday, vote for Nigel Tate. Put a man in the THA that you know at least we have a right stand.
PDP.
And a holding Signan Hill Patience Hill. That I want this seat to be the first seat that's going to be declared on Monday.
PDP.
Vote for Nigel Tate. A vote for Nigel Tate is a vote to ensure that Brother Farley Chavez Augustine take the wheels of Tobago and he's surely going to drive us to the road of success. So I just want to tell you tonight, stay focused. Stay the course. Don't be distracted. Leave all the petty talk to them because they are even running out of rumors. And you're in a bad state when you're running out of rumors. Let's stay focused. Let's go out on Monday and complete the first phase of transforming Tobago. Let's go out and vote for the Progressive Democratic Patriots. And all of us, each and every one of you, when you look back at history some years from now, could say, I was part of that change. I helped engineer that change. I played my part. And your grandchildren and your children could stand and say, Grandpa and Grandma, we are better off today. We finally see a Tobago that you didn't see because you stand up and vote for the PDP. Each and every one of us, come Monday, they like to talk about great is what and great is what. We will show them what true greatness really is. When our people come together and our people say enough is enough, That is true greatness. And each and every Spartan could stand up on Monday night and say, standing tall and looking good. That's the way a Spartan should. Vote for Nigel Tate. Vote for the PDP. I thank you, brothers and sisters. I love you, and victory belongs to us.
Wherever you are, this is your instruction for Monday, December 6th. When you are voting, we are voting out the PNMs. When the history of Tobago is written from December 6th going forward, the PNM must not be a part of it because we are going to vote them out. That's our instructions, and that's what we are going to do.
If it is the time is now, then change will come about. Yes. Just as how you
Yes. Thank you, Mr. DJ. That's your instruction for Monday, December 6th. Voting out the PNM. They must be wiped off the Tobago landscape. We have had enough. What happened? God bite us? Pressure. We have had enough. It is time for Tobago to breathe again. Time for us to breathe again. It is time for Tobago to rise. Tobago must be likened to Phoenix, coming out of the ashes. As I say, next week, Tuesday morning, we must thank God, as is written in the book of Isaiah. Thank you for the beauty. Thank you for the beauty instead of ashes, God. I joined the Progressive Democratic Patriots because of its vision for Tobago. I wanted to be a part of the revolution, and it's indeed a people revolution, and fight for the autonomy and self-determination of Tobago. Tobago has enough bright minds to govern its affairs, and it is a time we empower and believe in our people. Tobago needs better representation. I want to represent my electoral district impartially, with honesty, dignity, and giving proper accountability and transparency. Any party that promotes democracy and the people's right of choice is a party that I stand by. Tobago needs change, and the vehicle of change, innovation, and creativity is driven by the PDP. Brothers and sisters, Nigel Dave Tate, better known as Tatos, mighty man. He's requesting your support to be the assemblyman for the electoral district of Signal Hill, Patience Hill. He is yours, Signal Hill, Patience Hill. You cannot disown Nigel Tate. You cannot. He has been in your face for all of his life. He's known to you as a community organizer. You have schooled him. And according to the old people, you have churched him. He has made his mistakes. He has known his joys. He has known his pain. He has gotten his experience within you. Now he comes to you to ask for your support to take it to another level in his service to you. Signal Hill, Patience Hill, man from yard, I bring to you Nigel Tate.
Voting for PDP, black and we roll. Voting for PDP, this is a black road. PDP, black and gold. No weapon formed against you. So higher than an eagle. 10,000 falling at your left, 10,000 at your right. Victory today. No weapon formed against you.
Yes. My people.
Falling on your left and haters on your right. Victory today. And we black and we proud.
Black and we proud.
This is a black code.
Black out.
Vote on PNL. Jesse and her friends, you won't see them tomorrow. No, this is a black code.
Yeah. Black and we proud. Yes, I. What an introduction. Spartans. Tato's in the house. And me nah leave. Tonight is my night. Patience Hill, Signal Hill, Patalambo, Orange Hill, Union, Spring Garden. I dem born, I dem grow, I dem stay. Me nah leave. Yes. God blessings. God blessings, God blessings. Let me acknowledge our political leader, Mr. Watson Solomon Duke. Our deputy political leader, Farley Chavez Augustine. Our next chief secretary. I said our next chief secretary. Without a doubt. Our next deputy political leader, Alicia Roberts Patterson. All candidates, those who win locally, internationally, and I must say a special thanks to the residents of my electoral district and my canvassing team. Yes, we work night, we work day. Thank God the curfew up now, so we're jamming them in the night too. The names are so much, I cannot call all their names. But the entire canvassing team, I love all of them in my heart. Thank all of you. Those who are viewing and listening on the trucks right now in Signal and Patience Hill. Yeah? All Spartans. I said all Spartans. Good night. I am Nigel Tate. Humble black man. And I'm here to represent the electoral district of Patience in Signal Hill. And I'm proud to be the candidate because I know I will bring a difference to my electoral district. Yeah. Let me tell you why. Patalambo, I have real friends down in there. Yeah? Spring Garden is there I started to go to church, Moravian church, when I was a little toddler. It's there that nurture me spiritually. Union, I did my grandfather born. Ignatius Beard is my grandfather. And Wim Florence Thomas and my grandmother. So Union Wim, and then me get roots. Me roots there too. Orange Hill. Are the home of my family. Family, my blood is there. All my blood are Orange Hill. Signal Hill, and them me burn.
Oh Lord.
And then me start for creep. And then me walk. My first step was taken in Signal Hill. Then I went Patience Hill. Where me live for today. And me not leaving my village. Me not run from my village. Because me love my people. I started nursery school by teacher Yvonne. I wonder if them know that school there. And then I got nursery school teacher Yvonne school. And then I went on to Patience Hill Government School. Plenty people in the village went to school with me. Plenty persons from my village fed me before I stepped out and went to Scarborough Junior Secondary School. Then went back to Signal Hill Comprehensive School again. Back, same place again, Signal Hill again. So my roots, they're all over my electoral district. So me they're all over. My neighbor string, it tie up. It tie up within my electoral district. If not through friendship, or by blood. You understand what I'm saying? So me from yard. So I need the support from you all, the persons within my electoral district. On 6th of December, come and support a man. All you know, look at see 24/7. All you know, me live. My house door open to everybody. Feel free. Any day, anytime. That's how I am. Right? Good. Let me deal with the issues. Because when I deal with issues, by the next day things start. And all have seen it. Yeah? Unemployment. Not only affecting my electoral district, but throughout Tobago. The youths and them. The PDP will fix that. Underemployment. And I just never forget the day when I went and talked to that young lady, and she told me that she have a bachelor degree, and she's a cashier in a supermarket. She applied for a job, and they wrote her back and told her she's overqualified. You understand what I'm saying? Poor road network. All I seen potholes all over. All over I seen potholes. Pothole. But they're going to pave the wrong places. Concentrate on the main roads where vehicles drive in. Because I just tell all you, when all the vehicles drop down in a pothole, my own dropping down in there too, because it's there I from. So I feel in the same pain as all you. When I change a part and all the vehicles, I change a part in mine too, because it's there I'm from, so I know what I'm talking about. Drainage. Recently I saw a video where water was actually coming down from a hill, straight into a woman's house, seeping below she downstairs, basically washing away. She posts on them. But I told that woman, after December 6th, I will come and attend to you. And let me not say I, but the PDP will come and attend to you. Lack of assistance for small business. We know that some of these small business need help, especially during this pandemic period. But yet we are seeing persons who don't need assistance getting it. That is so wrong. Help the poor. Help them out. Poor and inadequate supply of water. When you turn your tap and it have no water in your tap, it's the same thing when I turn mine. Me again on too. So when you don't have water, I do have water too. Because I live in there and I feel in the same pain. So I know what my residents are feeling. I know the issues, and it bothers me for today. What, talk louder, as I said, they may know about that. But if you ain't live there, how you going to experience it? But I am living there, so I am feeling it. So I am the one to bring forward the issues. Nobody should bring that to me. I feeling it. So I bringing it. What Swappy say? I feeling it. But I feeling it. I'm seeing a lot of dilapidated houses. And when we get into power, we will render assistance to those who really need the help. We ain't going and get nobody who live in no 3-story house that have apartments and giving them grants still, and yet people living without proper roofing. Yeah? 10 and more people sleep in one room. These are the people that need help. And that is what I'm talking about. Get down to the grassroots and help the people and them. Give me the proper, put me there, and I'm going to see proper representation. Put me there, and I'm going to see what I'm talking about. PDP. Lack of street lights. There are some areas that need proper lighting. We know that, right? And we will do our best. We will do our best. Boy, right now, my complexion, I'm afraid to pass in some of them areas. Trust me. Boy, I just smile to say that I see my gold teeth. All right, okay, I hear you, sir. All right, my conversations with you, my people, have led me the formulation of a district plan. 1, to reconfigure our playing fields and to put proper lighting system on Patience Hill ground. Last time I talked about it, and this is the honest truth, I have been following this lighting system for Patience Hill ground for years. Those who know. You don't know why I'm doing this, because I used to run Patience Hill Village League for over 15 years. By 6:30, all football used to stop because the place get dark. And I've been fighting over and over for this thing. And my people back then used to say, I got to try. Okay, you will get it. Okay, my hands are tied. Well, I fed up at that now. I fed up at that, man. I fed up. I jump on board a vehicle that will carry me where I really want to go and carry the residents where we want to go. And I believe it's about time people wake up and see what it is I'm talking about. On our playing grounds also, we will reconstruct our pavilions and put proper gyms and rooms, proper rooms so we can have toolbox meetings after training. And persons within my electoral district will be employed because proper maintenance of the ground and the pavilions have to be kept. Are you hearing me? That is what I call vision. Also to reconfigure our community centers into multi-purpose facilities, where we can have more than one activities going on at the same time. You in a corner so, or do all the thing over so, somebody's in a corner so, do all the thing so we together still. Unity. Workshop to assist our youths. Not only the youths, but those who are interested in learning something. So we offer it to all. To all, because there are senior citizens right now that are interested in joining this. And mind you, let me share this with you a little bit. I had a conversation with a mechanic, and I told him about some of the issues from the youth, saying that they're unemployed. And his response to me was that he's willing to take on 2 youths and help them out in the field of mechanic. I also talked to a builder, and he said to me, send them to him, and he will teach them masonry or carpentry. We're short, man. And I talked to what does call a garage man that fix car? A straightener. He tell me send them, let them come and learn a trade. So I start to work already. But mind you, we're still having a workshop to teach the youths and them, right? Certain things. One of them said they want to learn disc jockeying because disc jockeying now is money. We have persons in the village right now who are willing to teach the youths and them things. And I'm here to help them. I will support them. We want to reintroduce cultural activities in Patience Hill. For those who don't know, Patience Hill was known to be the best cultural village in Tobago. We were known for dancing, drumming, and the playing of steel pan. And for those who don't know, I used to play drum. And I used to play the single tenor pan. Me. Long time. But I might forget the notes them now, eh? But once I start back, I'll remember. We will be rendering assistance to the schools within my electoral district, the preschools, primary schools, secondary school, and we will pay attention to the special needed school at Signal Hill. You see that special needed school in Signal Hill? Them need help. Based on conversations that I held with certain persons, they need help. We can assist them with simple devices, sporting equipment, stationaries. When it comes to Christmas time, we could donate a little thing for the children, for the kids. That is what we are here for, to assist people. We're not here on no show thing. We're here to work. We come out to work. Assistance for senior citizens. With the creation of a group within our electoral district. And the group already have a name, eh? We name it already, eh? We call it the Helping Hand Group. Bertram, my brother, Stafford, Baizo, Woodsy, and I could call more names. We already form a group. And that group will go around and seek those who need help. Cutting off the yards, cleaning up of the rubbish, helping painting the house, especially come to Christmas time, you know. Some might help the public lights, even transportation sometimes, to carry them to the grocery or whatsoever. Not only the senior citizens, but those who need help. That is the purpose of forming that group, which has already formed. You all hear what I'm saying? Right. We also want to introduce a play park for kids in every district within my electoral district. Right? Yeah? We're having swings, we're having slides, and we're having seating accommodation for the parents. You could sit down and eat and do all that, do there and watch all the kids. We want to do all of that. Naming of streets. This will be done by having discussions with members of the residents. So we'll be looking for like a village icon, someone who is well known, someone who has served the village, and their name is nowhere wrong. So we'll be honoring them by having a street sign placed in a position so people will know where to find people who I need, especially at this time when ambulance going and look for people. And again, direction, but let's drive and asking person with no. Putting a street sign is so important. It will assist everybody in finding where they want to go, finding the direction. You see like how I find my direction with the PDP? I found my direction because I saw the sign. So we put in signs, so when you call the ambulance, they're going to say, this is Tate Lane. This is the way to find Doug. You understand what I'm saying? All right. We want to reintroduce the water tank that was out in Big George. I don't know if them know where Big George is, but out in London, I still don't know if them know where London is, but it had a big water tank up there. When water gone, it used to feed everybody within Patience Hill area. But, so we want to bring it back. Have it fixed so that there will be no problem with water supply again in our district. Because a tank was already there, so it's easy to go and get fixed. We will also form a district improvement committee which will engage other groups within the electoral district. For example, the village council, all sporting groups and clubs, etc. With that group, with this committee, discussions will take place, and the issues that are burning in these areas will be discussed by this committee, and we will find solutions for them. This is not about me, it's about we fixing this. My representation is not about me, but you, the residents of my electoral district and Tobago. I am your humble servant. Not because I'm big so, but I'm a very humble man. The voice to follow is mine. This is the voice that will negotiate for you, my people. This voice has exposed some of our concerns to the fore, which is presently being treated with unfairness at this point in time, and I don't know that. When I talk, things start to happen. I talk about certain roads. We've seen truck, we've seen backhoe, we've seen all kinds of things coming now, and they're paving roads. I talk about the lights in Patience Hill. I see they put up a sign. I talk about the drainage in Patience Hill, in Signal Hill. I seen drains are fixed. So who voice to follow? Who is the voice to follow? Remember I talk about that tank out London, out Big George. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let me see what happens now. Best I talk about raise a pay too for them people who unemployed too. Because when I talk, things happening. And I will continue talking, because I really want things to happen. I want it to fix. Let me fix Tobago. The PDP is the vehicle to get on, but we have room. They find room for me. Me not squeeze in. I jump on board. And I want people to come with me. Come. This is the vehicle this is the right direction. We're going upwards. We're moving. My friends, my family, my people, I don't have the amount as persons on the other side have. But the little that I have, I am willing to share with you. I am presently doing it, but with those who desperately needs it. When I dip into my pocket, it is done with sincerity and generosity. Not to buy vote. Not to buy votes. Whatsoever I do is for the love of my people. And I do it from my heart. From my heart. That is where I do things from. And persons who know me know the kind of person I am. When I used to run Village League in Patience Hill, over 15 years, my pocket. What little contribution I may have was just enough to just purchase whatsoever, gifts and whatsoever. And I want some of the youths and them, and those who played Village League in my time too. We used to have fun. We used to enjoy it. We used to unite. People from all over our district used to be there. We had fun. And I want you all to reminisce on the good days we used to have. And some of you all, watch on all the pay saver, or the cabinet, or wheresoever I'll put them. And the trophies all you have, and the medals all you have, to show to all the children for today where it came from. Who give all it? Is we, the people of Patience Hill. We came together and made Village League, made sports. We used to have love, such unity. The junction was so lively after Bush Road. Well, many of them know when in Bush Road too, But down on the playing field, we used to have love. To the residents in my electoral district, who is election weary and has lost hope in raising your standard of living due to the promises that were made to you all and was never fulfilled. It is folks like you who have pressed me to offer myself for public office. I am not here for photo ops. I offer myself to represent with honesty and equity for all. I ain't leaving nobody behind. We walk side by side. Side by side we stand, and side by side we go forward.
PDP!
And that is our motto. Side by side that I will introduce within my electoral district. Side by side we move forward together. Take note of that. I believe in democracy. I believe in freedom of choice. I believe in honesty. I believe in talking the truth. I believe in talking the truth. And when I'm ready to talk the truth, I will talk the truth. I will talk the truth. You see, when you're trying to dirty somebody's name like my partner, Wayne Wasp Clark, all of must come with the truth. And you see, when you're trying to dirty my name, all of must come with the truth. Because our story have two sides. You mustn't do them things. You don't lie upon people. No, don't do them things. It is not right. For what? To get political mileage? We big and we are sense now. People know wrong from right. We big and we are sense, no sir? By now everybody gonna know what to believe and what not to believe. Hey, all you know now. Tobago needs a new dawn. The campaign theme of this party is "Let we fix this." Let me hear you say it with me. Let we fix this. Yeah, man. This didn't happen by accident. Eh? Tobago needs fixing, and those who wrecked us cannot be entrusted with the repair job, because it will just be wrecked more. And we, the PDP, is going to fix this. Persons within my electoral districts, especially the youths, don't be fooled with what they are on the other side are offering you. Take it all. Take it all. Because it's our taxpayers' money. Let me educate. You like you in my brain, boy. Let me educate you a little bit. Whole year long, we arguing. We making noise. We want we drain fix. But election bell ring. Well, let's see contractor come in. Ain't? We've seen grants given out. And people who don't want grants, they're getting grants over and over. But in one who really need it, they ain't getting nothing. All of seen food cards given out left, right, and center. A woman come to me and say she went to get a food card. The question they ask is who you voting for. Does that matter who you're voting for? The woman hungry. Gives you a food card. What's the... Them come for food card. The woman told me, they asked she who she voting for. Is that right? The woman said she explained she issue to them. She said what she had to say. But you ask I don't want to say poor woman, but you go ask the woman who she vote for. And then the woman end up another leave without a food card. And then someone who working, who have a big work, coming out with 2 and 3 food cards. Them things they're not right. That is why I offer myself to serve the people of my residential electoral district and Tobago. These things have to stop. It must stop. It will stop. I, as a man, believe in fair play. And all unfair games must play over. You see our 6-6 there? That is why we're having a play over. And they bring me on the team. I was a defender, you know. And I used to score goals too. And plenty of them know I used to play football. I was an attacking defender. I know to trap, and I know when to fire. I know when to hit ball hard, and I know when to pass the ball. All unfair games must play over. Yeah. My God, our God, he don't sleep. Never do that. My God never put on a pajama and said good night. He always there with me. So he know why it had 6-6. To bring in other persons on the team. And I must say thank you all to adding me on this PDP team. And I ain't just come to play, I come to score goals and let me win. Because I know this is a winning team. Come December 6th, wake up early. Wake up, granny. Wake up them children. Wake up your neighbor. If the cock can crow, wake up the cock too. Then you wake up. Wake up, everybody. Go to the polling station and vote for Nigel Tate for the PDP. A vote for me is a vote to put Farley Chavez Augustine as our next chief secretary. And I want you to answer me this. Are you satisfied with the healthcare system in Tobago? No. I ask it again. Are you all satisfied with the healthcare system in Tobago? No. I'm asking all you one more time. Are you all satisfied with the healthcare system in Tobago? No. Well, hear this now. A vote for me is a vote for Farley Chavez Augustine as chief secretary. And it's also a vote for Dr. Faith B. Israel to take over the healthcare system in Tobago.
Be careful of what you do. If it was a fashion show, I would choose you. And if it was a puppet show, I would give you. It's not about your self-interest. It's about this island's business. That is why I say, since the ambassador left, I haven't heard her issue a complimentary word to this assembly for anything they have done. And if I am wrong, she could correct me and I will apologize immediately. But you know, this morning she confirmed what I always knew, that she's selfish. She said she in Costa Rica and how good their tourism is and how many things that she have seen there and when she was. And I sat there and I said, but did you attempt to communicate with the Secretary of Tourism in the Tobago House of Assembly and say, try so? Nothing. I went to St. Croix last year and saw some unique things and picked up some magazine, and I came back and I brought it to her and said, I did all of that without pay. But this ambassador, who ought to be out there seeking the interests of this island and this nation, not a single thing, but they come back and they want to run island and run party. Give me a break. Give me a break. But I always say that if you show me your friends, I'll tell you who you are.
Spartans, the old people have a saying. When crayfish come up out of water and tell you that alligator they down there, believe crayfish. Former Prime Minister Patrick Manning warned us. We didn't listen. We are the worst off for today. People of Signal Hill, Patience Hill, Orange Hill, Union, Spring Garden Trace, Spring Garden, Lambeau. Don't break stick in your ears. When your own dog bites you, you're well bitten. Listen to what the own party had to say. And we go in with that. Give me a break. Give me a break. You come back here and want to run island and run party. Give me a break. So we're not taking the chance on December 6th. We're not taking any chance that later in the month, come 2022, we must not be a people to say, if maybe no, or if maybe listen. Listen now and do the right thing on December 6th. The Bamboo Bully Fair and Signal Hill Patience Hill, your candidate of choice is Nigel Tate. People, I tell us, and this is not just for Signal Hill Patience Hill, when the story of Tobago is told from December 7th onwards, the PNM must not be mentioned in any admirable term. They must be wiped off the political landscape of Tobago. They have hurt us enough. Tobago has suffered enough damage under the PNM. I don't care how much asphalt, today asphalt burning my nose up and down in my community. You can't do that to our people. You cannot do that to our people. No matter what the parliamentary allocation is every year for our lives here, you do nothing. We cry, we complain, we call the radio stations, we're on social media, we're writing articles, we're going when you have public day. And we are saying to you, hear our cries. And you ignore us. And 1 week before election, you're like crazy ants up and down the place, giving us poor work, treating us as though we are chattel. We have no value, we have no worth, just to ensure that you and your favored few continue to reap the benefit of this land. We ain't taking that no more as a people. And Tobagonians, you have to come out en masse. And en masse simply means you have to come out enough, plenty. Take no chance. Do not leave it up to anybody else to decide. No. No, 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 no. We must decide for ourselves. Right? We will decide for ourselves. Good? Nobody else. We as a people. We as a people. Our future must not have the PNM in it. They must not be in our future. And brothers and sisters, I ask you to welcome Brother Fali Chavez Augustine, the candidate for palliative lands from his Speyside, and our Chief Secretary designate, Brother Fali.
Balance. For it is nature's way until judgment day. Weakness ain't got a chance. Playing strong cause I realize the price little one must pay to keep the big one in paradise. This torment and misery all day. Destruction of the weak is nature's plan. The humble and the meek must understand. This day of the strong man is the devil's day. So they will right the ground when the master plays.
PDP family! PDP family! Tobago, how you feeling tonight? You're feeling it. You're feeling it. I tell you, we're feeling it. Tobago, something is happening in this space. Something is happening in this space. And everywhere I go, Tobagonians are waking up and taking on a kind of bold resolve to do something different come December the 6th. Something is happening, Tobago. And you know, given the kind of crazy day politically this place has had, it might be a good way to start with me perhaps chanting a psalm. Given all that has been maddening in the political space, that we have arrived at a place now where we talk in the politics of the supernatural and the politics of Obia. Well, I don't even know what that is, but I know a living God. I know a God above. That's all I could attest to. And perhaps is a good way to start this evening is by reminding you that the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Yes, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of for his. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And we can paraphrase that to say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of P&M red death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And what does he do? He prepares a table where? In where? Before who? Tracy, just watch how God will prepare a table right before you, full of everything, and you can't even sit down and eat. You got to watch the PDP and the people of Tobago enjoy the fat of the land, because it is about time the people of Tobago start enjoying the fat of the land, and not a few. And not a few. Tonight, PDP family, I want to talk to you about something very critical. We always, from where we stand, tend to moot a campaign against corruption. And that's because there is plenty to talk about when it comes to corruption. Those same information that Ms. Williams shared a while ago, had them for about a year now. And I guess Tracy didn't realize I had them. Because she knew the kind of information I actually have, she would pat down. Write down. But arrogance will be the defeat of many people. And sometimes we hear these concerns about corruption, and we only think of the political opportunity that they bring. But we don't think of the opportunity cost to our society and what we have lost and what we will continue to lose. Because what Ms. Williams did not tell you is that for that same allocated $4 million, that by the time we got to 2016, we had already spent in excess of $3 million of that budget. And we don't have a zipline to show for it. That must be the definition of phobia. Because I don't know what else that could be. That is a serious disappearing act. I don't know how else to explain that. And perhaps I should, in the most sober and somber way, remind you that when things like this happen over and over and over again, that there are people in our society who are vulnerable, who loses, who cannot get the hands up that they need, who cannot get access to the books and the tablets that they need, who cannot get proper internet connection, who cannot get access to healthy foods, who cannot get access to proper sporting facilities, athletes who cannot get access to sponsorships as elite athletes. There is an opportunity cost to that kind of madness. And we have to ask ourselves tonight whether we want to continue down that road. Because let me tell you early up, from get-go, I love Tobago more than I love the PDP. Let me be very clear, I love Tobago more than I love the PDP. And I will be very clear in saying to you tonight that post-December the 6th, should you give us the opportunity to govern this island, I'm giving you a commitment that my executive council can operate so, and that if we pass budgets for projects, the projects better be delivered. And if you are incapable of managing a division to deliver projects on time and within reasonable budget, then you are incapable of running any division and incapable of running this island. It is as simple as that. That is simple arithmetic. We have to get serious about our own business. Serious, I told you last night about how the Prime Minister came and messed on all of us. Push our face in the mess to remind us that only 200 million thereabout that we're contributing, and we're spending more than we're contributing. So he say, and we expect to increase our income. And we have a simple project. As the Zipline project can know, massive scientific wonder in the world. That's a simple project. It has Zipline all over. I tell you, even poor Haiti have Zipline. What wrong with we? What wrong with we? You could go down Shagaramas, find Zipline there. What wrong with we? A simple project like that we cannot implement. And that is symptomatic of how we manage our affairs as an island. It's indicative of the kind of deep rootedness of the corruption in this place. And expect over the next couple days a big and mighty fight back and blow back. Because there are many on this island whose bellies are full, whose fridges are full, whose storehouses are full. And they want to ensure that they keep their place full while yours remain empty. Full belly man does always tell hungry belly man, keep heart. Wait, take your time. Pray some more, you'll come to you. But God requires that we do more than praying. We have to pray, work, and vote them out of office and rescue this place. We have to do that. And I told you last night that I want to start to dive into the issue of how we are managing our finances on this island. How we're managing all of these projects, these election projects that we have. And nobody could tell me those are not election projects. Because the same holdover, rollover, whatever kind of chief sec you want to call him, told us in January that they will manage with prudent restraint. Where is the prudent restraint now? Because he told the people at Tobago that, you know, we are just holdover. So we just here to keep things going until we get to the place of resolving the 6-6. Because as far as I'm concerned, me and no opposition. We ain't lose no election. So I don't even know who they want to class as opposition. But we are no opposition. And because it have no opposition on the island, what should have happened should have been really prudent restraint. Where the prudent restraint now? Where it is now? Fiscal year just start and we're spending like crazy. It must be wholly irresponsible to spend in that manner. It's vulgar. It's disrespectful to Tobagonians. And I'm not just saying it because it looks as if God will favor PDP to win the election, you know, and that we might get into office and find that they don't waste away all of our development budget. But God forbid they win. What are they going to do for the rest of the year? Where the money for the capital development for the rest of the year? Because the way to deliver proper and high quality projects is by ensuring you do it in a systematic manner that follows certain restraint. And if you're telling people you don't have money, and you're telling people, don't fight up with Watson, but give you extra money for Christmas. We don't have money for that. But we have money to pave roads indiscriminately. And I've made the point that when we do things this way, you, the people, lose. Last January for election, Saturday night before election, they come in and they pave piece of Campbellton. But right in the same Charlottesville, we have a road where people live in and car drive to the house. The car wheel only spinning around. And I'm saying if we had a systematic approach to public infrastructure work, and we weren't wasting money on electioneering repair work, then the people who need the assistance the most will actually get it. There is a cost to this kind of management and mismanagement. And maybe Mr. Hector saw something that we didn't see. Maybe the Holy Spirit really talked to him in truth. And he probably see that his party was desperate as they are about to lose the election and might be doing all kind of story. Looking for fowl, looking for pigeon, looking for all kind of story. But we on this side, all we have is to look to the Most High. There is a cost. And, you know, part of Tobago's challenge is not just that we don't get enough money for capital development. Part of our challenge is that we have been mismanaging Tobago's resources. And if you look at, well, you're right, don't say we, said them, because we were never there. It's them and them alone. We have just been on this. That's right, not we, them. They have been mismanaging our monies. And we have just been idle bystanders, sitting down, watching them, doing madness and being okay with that. Being okay with that. And, you know, the more I look at this thing, United Nations in 2018 said that global corruption accounted for 5% of the world GDP. 5%. So it's not a Tobago problem alone, it's a global problem. And the challenge is even more painful for small island developing states, for third world countries, for even those of us who are considered HDCs or highly developed countries. It's a problem for us. Because for every 1 million we waste, we have $1 million worth of potential that is going untapped on the other hand. That's what opportunity cost is. And I'm recommending to you to read a report tonight, Tobago. And I know that reading is a challenge for a few. But majority of Tobagonians like to read, and we're smart and we're bright. We're reading since we're in preschool, so we understand the thing. But there's a United Nations Convention Against Corruption report that is titled Procurement and Corruption in Small Island Developing States, Challenges and Emerging Practices. And I want to recommend to you that you take some time and read that report. Because part of our issue is how we go about procuring jobs to be done. Look, Mr. Tate told you, the Zipline, they went to exec council with the idea that it should be sold tender. The THS spend money in EID cut workers, take plane, fly all over the place. And guess what? It's just sold select, same way. So we spend money in a tendering process for a company to go out and say, hey, look the contract. What kind of tendering process is that? So a large part of our problem is how they have been managing the procurement issue. And then to think about it, that we had a procurement piece of legislation, and because the people are them so innately corrupt, they got to Parliament, gutted the teeth of the legislation, so nobody could hold anybody accountable in this country. And I'm saying to you, Tobago, tonight, you see that piece of legislation, including the piece that they gutted, we will implement it in Tobago, because we must become the best practice and the best standard for how to manage projects on this island. We must become that. And let me start off by giving you a classic example of how this mismanagement is eating away at our potential. I'm sure you heard us from this platform talk night after night about the water tank down in Shore Park. And I just want to pull up some quick information for you here about what that project was supposed to actually look like. It costed us $1 billion. $1 billion it costed us. $1 billion. And we should have gotten everything we needed in that project. All the phases for that money. But we spent $1 billion and we still didn't get all the phases. That project, when it was completed, should have included technical user-based specification from ACTT. It should have also had a main hall with 5,000 seats, 5,000 plus seats. We have that. That should have been able to screen off to create intimate theaters of at least 1,000. Floor sets can be moved and staged is so modular, so it can take on different shapes. That ain't there yet. It's only one flat surface there. You have no stage to take on different stage. And that should have allowed us to have functions that look like Oscar and Grammy. There should be smaller theaters, 500 and 100. 2 outdoor performing spaces in the second phase. The facility should include music studios, rehearsal rooms, labs, storage, a library, a small museum, administrative offices, conference room and facilities, proper loading bays so that pan and mask costumes and giant sets can enter. They were supposed to have all of that. They tried to keep pan down there 1 year, I think, and one person up and drop in a hole. You remember that? I think she's singing calypso for them now. A good friend of mine. But the point is, these are the things we could have had if we managed this project better than we did. And for every project we mismanage, every project that we don't handle properly, you lose a lot of opportunity. And yes, the building might have some conference rooms and some administrative spaces and some of the things here. But I keep saying, how come this spanking new building for $1 billion is not our version of Madison Square Garden? How come? And the reason why that is so is because of how we mismanage our monies. I will follow me this as some sober message. It's not everything to worry and make noise over. This is one of the reasons why in Tobago we have to sit down and do some introspection. Because if we do some introspection, we will realize where as an island we have gone wrong. And the reason why I'm talking in the third person is because although I was never a part of the exec council, I blame myself for taking so long for standing up and saying something. I blame so many of you who like me sit down. You're teaching, you're doing whatever with your life. You don't want to say nothing. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to participate. You don't want to go to a political meeting. You don't want to vote. You don't want to volunteer. You just want to sit back and hope for the best. You know things wrong, but you're hoping for the best. We're hoping for the best. Get up and do something. Get up and vote. It's your civic duty. Get up and do something about it. If it's one day you should be jamming something, should be on December 6th. Jam the X next to the bamboo bully fair. Let me get rid of this kind of madness.
Jam the X.
And so a lot of people have to take some responsibility for doing nothing while evil reign on this island. For doing nothing while a few end up with the largest of our resource. With the largest and the little kakada we just get. And these people have the unmitigated gall to come and behave like victims. If you politicize against the practice, they wanted to stay just so. They wanted to say just so because they believe Tobago must also have a 1%, while in 99% of us must do without. Not under a Tobago that I have any say about, and not if I could do something about it. And I went through and pulled out a few highlights from Auditor General reports between 2003 and 2016. And it can come up on your screen. And I want to list out for you some of those areas that the Auditor General has highlighted over and over again for us. When we talk about the contingencies account expenditure between 2003 and 2016, we have in excess of $1 billion, $1.7 billion plus that we can't give proper account for. When we talk about unspent balances, we have 179 million plus. Can't give proper account for. No supporting documents produced to audit. If you know the regulations say that when you spend a bob at 25 cents, you must get a receipt put down there. Get a receipt put down there. And you know what is shocking? When you have to apply to them to do any kind of job, they want your quotation, you know. You might be going and do work for them for a little $3,000. They want your quotation before they could issue you payment. But we have a situation where we're finding millions and billions of dollars and no supporting documents for them. How could that be right? And every time an Auditor General report comes out, they come and tell me, well, it's the public servant's fault. Well, we have to put some measures in place to fix it. Well, we're setting up a committee. Well, we're fed up of that. That's why we're voting all out of office. No excuses. When we look at the tourism rolling plan, well, Ms. Sertica talked about the Zipline, and she feels she would have been smart enough to put a case in the court and that nobody will talk about it. The Zipline has been well ventilated. Then we look at the payment to the UK Airlines. I was the one who raised that matter. All kind of people said they're going to sue me. I'm still waiting on them to sue me. Because I ain't afraid nobody. Once I the evidence are talking it big and bold. Because somebody has to stand up. We'll be too quiet about these wrongs. We have close to $10 million. You pay it in a wrong account. And in fact, in case you forget how that went, we had one man who called himself a contract officer, a transportation coordinator in the division. Come in and tell the accountant, sorry, you're using the wrong bank account. Use this information. Poor accountants come and take the new information. They send the people checking a different bank account. And when you look at the contract with Virgin Atlantic, the contract said that if Virgin Atlantic was to change a bank account, they will send an email, they will post an actual notice, and somebody will actually call. None of that had happened. Nobody had read the contract to Virgin Atlantic, but money going in wrong account. And when I trace that account was set up about a month before the money reached in the account. Some Muslims sound the name. When I trace the business of that account, because in real countries, and we have it too, you could actually see who the directors of companies are. You look at the directorship of the company. One man has both secretary and director of the company. The address to the company is some regular apartment. And as the money land today, boops, the money gone, withdrawn completely from the bank account. No trace. And I stood in Tobago and I begged Mr. London. I said, you, Mr. London, you're the High Commissioner to the United Kingdom. Use your authority, use your powers. Reach out to Scotland Yards. Reach out to the Financial Investigation Bureau in the United Kingdom. Ask them to help us trace and locate our money. Not a word, not a pip. Nothing. After I mash up Tobago, not a word to protect anything here. But you find yourself in space like last night to talk. Not a word. And I'm saying to you, Tobago, that you have to stand for Tobago on December the 6th. You have to take a firm decision to stand for Tobago. Almost 10 million gone just so. We look at Heritage Festival expenditure flagged by the Auditor General report. We have road improvement works also flagged, over 45 million. We have the payment of the superannuation benefits to former assemblymen in 2016. That was also flagged. It was 36 something million. You don't even have authority to spend the money and you spend it. You give it out. And I'm saying to you, Tobago, if you want this kind of madness to stop, you have to do something about it. You have to do something about it. And I don't want to just be in minority to talk to me voice hoarse over and over again and look for every Auditor General report and try to behave like I'm CIA and FBI and trying to PIE and trying to get documents here or there to try to fight for this. And I'm saying to Tobago, if you want this kind of mismanagement to stop, you can actually do something about it. You could do something about it. You can actually do something about it. You have to do something about it. And let's be honest, if any of them on the other side had cared to do anything about it, one of them would have done something about it. And somebody said Kelvin was trying. May know if he was trying, but they definitely did something about him. There is a cost to this kind of mismanagement. There is a cost to this. And then on top of that, when we look at the projects happening around the island now, we currently have a situation where the THA received already about 43 million for development program as at November this year. And the THA has spent for development $52 million already. As at November, when the fiscal year started, no, it ends in September and starts in October. As at November, we received from central government $43 million for development program. And we already spent $52 million. Is that what you call prudent restraint? Is that what you call prudent restraint? And then when you add to this a 66 million that is apparently needed urgently, it means that the THA could possibly be in the red at 75 million and the new calendar year ain't start yet. That those are real figures I'm giving you. Not make-up figures, those are real figures I am giving to you. The THA also received 160 million in bond financing. And a birdie whispering and telling me that they might be looking to form some kind of special purpose account that they could channel some of this bond financing money through. And while they're trying to have that develop, the administration has been drawing down from the bond financing, and we cannot yet see and approve the list of projects. If you're really doing proper budgeting, wouldn't you have a list of projects you want to accomplish with this $160 million bond financing? So why are they just drawing out of it? You have no idea. You, the public, have no idea of what the approved list of projects are. It's like somebody wake up and say, okay, we could pull from this to spend here, pull from that to spend here. That is doing economics, vike. And the point has to be underscored that Tobago, whether it's PDP or you want to put them back there, our next generation are the inheritors of this kind of debt. When we made a mad deal with Milshove, you know how much years you have to pay, what, 20 million a year for? Your grandchildren going to be paying that money. Your grandchildren going to be paying that money. Because somebody made poor management decisions. And nobody can tell me that this is the fault of public servants. No, let me be the first to tell you that I think that some public servants, they don't always line up the way we want them to line up. But generally they do. And let me also be the first to tell you that while I think there is a lot of corruption, some of this is just mismanagement and inability to manage that which we are given. And if we are stewards of $260 million for development expenditure, do you start spending so wild and vike just because you want to win an election? And if for 21 years your performance so good that people needed to protect it, you didn't even need to campaign. You could have sit down in your house and win the election. But the fact that you have to pull a piece of speech here and pull a piece of speech there and match them out of context and slander me and slander Watson and slander Baines and slander all you can slander tells me how desperate you are to prevent good governance from happening to the people of Tobago. And the question we have to ask logically, all the cabinet members coming up from Trinidad, every Monday morning in Parliament, every Thursday in Parliament, they be rating the UNC for corruption. They're calling out their name. But when it comes to Tobago, they're silent. Don't ask no question. When TH had to go before Joint Select Committee, don't ask no question. Be silent. Leave it as it is. And I'm saying that ends on December the 6th. Because you can do something about it. And let me make it clear. I ain't looking together because I want your money. Me ain't looking together because I want a nice car. If I was interested in nice car and big living, I wouldn't choose the THA for a profession. I would choose somewhere else. And I had options in case you don't know. But I choose Tobago because I love Tobago. I choose Tobago because Tobago first chose me. PDP! I choose Tobago because Tobago chose me when I did not have anything. And I feel indebted to this place. And if I'm indebted to this place, I could not sit down in a classroom teaching children, telling them things going to be better when you learn your book. When you go out and study and come back, life going to be better for you. And when they come back, they say, so you lie. Because we leave university, we go and get the masters, we go and get the PhD, we get all the fancy things they tell you to get. And when we come back to Tobago, there are no opportunities here for me. What should I do? And then I got to a place where I started telling them, stop thinking of Tobago as the only place you could survive in. Make a mark in education. Educate yourself well. Whether you want to be plumber, be the best possible plumber in the world. Be the best engineer in the world. Be the best doctor in the world. The best carpenter, the best fisherman in the world. And if you do that, you can work anywhere in the world. Make your mark anywhere you can because the world's small. I started telling them that. But when I look at the economics of Tobago and look at how many of our people keep leaving, I said, Farley, we have to do something about that. And that's why I'm here. That is why I am here. Spoke to a young lady earlier today, she's telling me about how she struggled to find a job. Finally get a job underemployed, getting paid late almost every month. And then she was at the point of saying, Farley, if PDP and when I go on in her. Because she thinks as though the opportunities here could never ever come. And while that's happening, only a few getting all the opportunities they want. And you have to be without. Only a few. And so when I see some business people walking about, trying to scare people away from voting for PDP, ask them what is it in PNM for them. Ask them what they're getting and how much they're getting. Ask them how much of the corruption money they'll be putting in their bank account. You ask them. You ask them. You're right, brother. They're washing money for PNM. A legal money laundering program they're doing in Tobago. You going to sit down and take that? You sitting down and allow that to continue to happen unabated? You want that to be how we govern for the next 20 years? All of us are accountable, right? And I'm glad I gained your support tonight, brother. God holding all of we are accountable. Because those of us who refuse to stand up while evil is prevalent, God will punish you. God will hold you accountable. We have to do something about this. This cannot continue as is. This cannot be the way we do business. And what is sad about all of this is that when you raise issues, they try to make you look mad. They come like trolls all over your page. They try to discount basic facts. You could put up the data in the face. They'll make an excuse. They always believe somebody trying to fight them down while they're fighting down the whole of Tobago. They believe that somehow they are beyond the reach of anybody. Untouchable. Tobago should have nobody that is untouchable. There should be no untouchables here. Just one Tobago for all Tobagonians to benefit from. All. And let me say to the business community, because I don't want you to be afraid, we are about good governance. And with good governance, more of you can get a share of the pie. With good governance, Some of you small contractors won't have to call up Liz to have a story about how they distribute agriculture access road contracts. Because with good governance, there will be fairness, there will be parity, there will be equity. You will benefit too. We have been saying from day one, we have to build out a better private sector. Not build out one man, or one company, or two companies. Build out a proper private sector that is competitive in the country, that could compete with businesses in Tobago and in Trinidad. That's what we have to build out. So that more Tobagonians will find jobs. More of you will get better paying jobs. That's what we have to do. But that cannot happen with this kind of poor management of our resources. It cannot. And to think that our Secretary of Finance has some accounting abilities. To think about it, that. And then we have brothers like Brother Tate. People like Brother Tate fighting up in a community in Patience Hill, Signal Hill. People like Brother Tate trying his best, having football competitions in Village League. Sometimes they put on dress and go play football, little Christmas fun, all kind of thing. Keeping the treat, all kind of story. Trying to make ends meet. Patience Hill, look how close to tongue it there. You have one of the most spectacular views of Scarborough. And you can't get lights to your playing field yet. After 41 years of a teacher, you can't get lights to your playing field yet. We're still talking about lighting playing fields in 2021. And those that have lights, don't cut the lights and put up red tag on them already. Walk around, you're seeing red tags on a Saturday, the infrastructure. That is ridiculous. There is an opportunity cost to that kind of madness. And then what is painful to watch? What is painful to watch is the kind of abuse with which they're spending money even in this election. Imagine Tate's competitor could be boasting about how she has Signal Hill people eating out of the palm of she hands. And she had them wrap around she finger and all kind of stuff. Wrap around which finger? That must be Obia. You don't wrap around no finger here, because Tobago in 2021 is about a re-engineering of our democracy where you, the people, can participate and participate fairly. That is what we're talking about. You have to be able to participate in your own destiny, Tobago. You have to be an active member in that. You have to. And then they come and they say, well, those study Farley and Watson and them, they want to replace THE and give money to the communities. You know why they're saying that? Because if we assign monies to the districts, then the kind of monies they're wasting and giving to one and two men, they can't do that. And the actual communities will actually have a say in how their community development goes and what their priorities are. That is proper government.
PDP!
And let me address this quickly, because it started off with them saying, Mr. Duke talking about giving extra 1,000 ex gratia payment. We don't have money to give people no bonus for Christmas. And by the time we swing to the end of that weekend, they start saying, oh, ex gratia mean that they're going to fire everybody. And I said, but these people don't have proper dictionaries in the house? Because if they did, they will understand that there are several meanings to an ex gratia payment. A severance payment is an ex gratia payment. A bonus payment is an ex gratia payment. If your company injured you and they decide to give you some money without standing legal liability, that's an ex gratia payment. If you feel abused or hurt or experience things like racism in a company and the company doesn't want you to go and make a whole big PR mess to them, you can get an ex gratia payment too. So that there are several types of ex gratia payment. And if you ever listened to the actual context of what Mr. Duke was saying, you will realize he was only talking about giving Tobagonians to Christmas an additional bonus. But I tell Mr. Duke you're wrong, because Mr. Duke should have waited, because the kind of thief the thief in, we might go there and not meet enough money to get anybody any extra anything. When I look at what St. Kitts and Nevis, I believe it was, they, in 2018, was given for the third straight year double salaries to all of their public servants, all of their state workers. They doubled their salaries to Christmas for 3 straight years leading up to COVID. So that is nothing new, that is nothing novel. And yes, I understand that it has to be as funds are available. We don't know what's there, but I'm saying to you, Tobago, that you need a government that will start to prioritize you, the people, and put you, the people, first. How can we put you, the people, first when we have this kind of madness? So, yes, Tobago will do well with a zipline. Nice with some cable car somewhere about. What does that mean? Tobago must go and spend double or triple money because the price gone up. The cost of freight gone up. We have to spend triple money to get one single zipline on the island, when we could have gotten one since 2016 if we managed that project properly. That's the reality. That's the reality. Or we have to go and beg somebody in the private sector to come and spend the capital to do it and give them access to state lands to do it. Missed an opportunity. We missed an opportunity there. Look around the island. Look around the island. Our single largest investment was Shorpa Cultural Complex. When the airport is completed, that will become our new single largest investment. But the single largest investment from your THA in the last 21 years was Shorpa Cultural Complex. How much money that making? How much? How much are all the young people and children just get to go in there and dance? How much classes does keep inside there? How much? Thankfully, they recently set up a nice new committee with some vibrant and very talented young people. And I expect great things from this group of young people, this cohort of young people who they put to manage the place. But look how long it been. Why it took us so long? Why it took us so long? And while that is happening, we have farmers begging for irrigation pumps. We have farmers and agro-processors begging for labs, begging for assistance to get their products on bigger markets. And we here wasting time. Tobago, today is Tuesday. The election is next week, Monday. I don't have plenty more days to beg for your vote. And I'm okay begging for your vote because it is your vote. It's your district, them. They belong to you. All 15 belong to you. It's yours. So I have no problem begging for your vote. But don't let me beg in vain. Because I'm not begging for your vote just for me or just to say we win the election. I am begging for your vote because I believe we have the best team on the island right now to redevelop the people of Tobago. PDP! So Tobago, what are we going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I know what I will do about it. By 10 a.m. on December 6th, I will be going up to Speyside Anglican, otherwise called St. John's Anglican Primary School. And I'll be voting either in 5010-1 or 5010-2, as they may assign me based on alphabetical order. And when I go in there, I will see 3 names on the ballot paper, but I'm only interested in the name that is placed at the very top, with the surname beginning with A, Augustine. And I am going to vote resoundingly for myself. I am doing something about it. I am asking you to also do something about it. Go there early. Don't stay home. Don't say you're vexed, you're fed up. Don't say you're tired of all the nasty politics. Because when I listen to our platform, you ain't hear we needlessly calling up people's name. You ain't hear we scandalous about the politics. In fact, as a party, I'll be the first to tell you we have grown. We have matured. And our level of discourse has improved. And we have grown right before your eyes. And this is the only political organization on the island that will admit to you that at some points we were immature, at some point we needed to grow some more, but we are ready for government now. We're ready now. PDP. And so I'm begging you to give our 15 candidates a chance in this election. And it's about giving an opportunity to a new group of people. You have a democracy in your hands. It is almost dictatorial, almost like an autocracy, almost like a monarchy, passing from one blue blood to our next. Certainly not democratic to decide that only one party alone must be in charge of Tobago. And the people bold-faced enough to think that they have ownership rights on this place, that they own everybody and own everything. Is the people them thing? Leave it alone. Let the people decide. Stop trying to cajole and trying to abuse the people into voting you back into office. Leave the people alone. Tobagonians, you have a proud history. You have done so much better in the past. We have regressed in many ways. We made some small steps in some ways. They have done some successful things, yes. But they made plenty blunders, yes. You have an opportunity to give yourself an opportunity and to give another party an opportunity who is deserving of that opportunity. And I'm saying the PDP is most deserving of your opportunity in this election. So do something about it. Do something about it. You have to do something about it. Young men, young women, do something about it. You can't just sit down and hope for the best. That's not how hope works. Faith without works is dead. Pray for it plenty. Pray for it plenty. But you have to come out and put some work behind the faith. Put in some work too. And your work might just be 30 minutes of your day. The law affords you, 2 hours? And every single employer have to give you 2 hours. You don't care where you're working there. They have to give you, or your employer is liable to be fined or sent to prison. You're entitled to it. To your 2 hours. So you don't even have to hustle. You don't even have to break a sweat. And because all the parties are them full up a cars to drop you anywhere you want to go. Election day is one day you can get dropped for free anywhere. If you live in Tongue and vote in Shellerville, you get transport for free. Forward and backward. All you have to do is just go and vote. Go and participate and reclaim your heritage. Reclaim ownership of your government. And don't sell out your government to a few. Buy back your government with your vote. It is your vote. It's your THA. It's your house. It's you build all them places there. It's you buy all them Prado they drive in. It's you pay for it. Down to the road they're walking on, is you pay for it. It's yours. It's not theirs. So behave like owners of this land. And stop behaving as though you're paying rent. You're not paying rent for it. It belongs to you. It's yours. This is your yard. Own it. And own it boldly. Because if you do not own it, somebody will fly up from somewhere else and own it for you. Own it. In your own land. And so Tobago, we have yet another opportunity to turn Tobago into the greatest little island on the planet. We have started. We started a while back. We started 41 years ago. But with any state, you will always have bumps along the road. We just had a big 21-year-old bump that we need to bust and get the cyst out of our system so we can get going again. But don't stop. Don't sit back. Get up and get to work and get to voting. Call out mommy, nanny, everybody. Grandfather, everybody. Take everybody. If you can't walk, crawl. But get there somehow to register your vote with the Bamboo Bullifay. Get there somehow and do the right thing. Get there somehow and ensure that you are in a position to win. Because when PDP wins, Tobago wins. And that is their biggest fear. That is their biggest fear. They are fearful of our pro-Tobagonian rhetoric. They are fearful that we're too forceful with our love and pride for this island. They are fearful of the fact that we want to defend our land. They are fearful of the fact that with our people coming in and overriding us. They are fearful of the fact that we say that you must only come by our invitation and on our terms and conditions and not your own. They are fearful of the fact that we don't want a cabinet in Trinidad to run Tobago. We want the THA and the Executive Council to run Tobago.
PDP.
They are fearful of this thing we call autonomy. They're fearful about our potential, that we could outshine them and outpace them. And if given a chance, they just want to keep us in a state of mendicancy, a state of being begging and hoping for the best. About 200 million is all we could give. Who says so? Who says so? Who said we can't contribute more to the national purse than that? Who say we can't contribute more to our own purse than that? Who say Tobago does not have the potential to fund its own budget? But we can't do it with this kind of mismanagement. And we certainly can't do it with Tracy and Jack and them boys. We cannot. So we had to pull out our ACE card. By the way, my surname starts with A. Pull out your ACE card to trump that queen. And we have to also pull out with King to hang that Jack and ensure we return Tobago to a place of decency and good governance. And when we do that, Tobago will become the greatest little island on the planet. Let me fix this, Tobago.
Spot on! You are stupid! Yeah. Body lead the people on. Body lead the people on.
Thank you, Chief Secretary Designate, Brother Chavez. Thank you for staying the course with us tonight. Tomorrow night, the focus is on Glamorgan, Belgarden, and Dr. Faith B. Israel. So we expect you to join us again tomorrow evening for PDP on the road. Brothers and sisters, we beg you, we see the numbers that are being released by our health officials every day. Please take care of yourselves. Sanitize, wear your mask, keep your distance where possible. Take care of yourself. It's not only the vote that would be important on Monday, but your lives are important to you, to your families, and to this little island. We bless you. Get home safely. We meet again tomorrow. Thank you, those of you who are there virtually, those in the physical space. Get home safely. May God bless you. May God bless this nation and our leaders. Thank you.
Spot on!
Signal Hill, Patience Hill. Remember, December 6th, you are voting PDP. Nigel Tate. God bless you.
Body lead the people on. One more